Okay, in this lesson we're going to talk about how to come up with the equation when given the graph of a quadratic. So for equations of a quadratic, there are actually three different forms. You can have y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, which is kind of like your standard or general form. You can have your vertex form, h squared plus k, and you can have your factored form. Now all these letters, they just represent different numbers that would be in the place. So don't worry so much about what the letters are. They are filled in with numbers. We have three different forms of a quadratic: the standard form, the vertex form, and the factored form. The vertex form is useful in telling where the vertex is. The factored form, you're dealing with the x-intercepts. So given this graph right here, I'm given two x-intercepts, and then I'm also given another point. So because I'm given the x-intercepts, it makes most sense for me to use the factored form as my formula to come up with an equation. So I'll start with that. Y equals a bracket x minus s, x minus t. Now s and t are those x-intercepts of -6 and 2. And I have to think, what would that look like back when it was in factored form? I know my x-intercepts are x minus 6 and 2. So the minus 6, when it was in the equation, would have looked like x plus 6, the opposite of it. The plus 2, when it was in the equation, would look like x minus 2, the opposite of it. And then I have the y equals and the a in front. Now part of what I have to do here is I have to solve for this a, this unknown a. Most equations have x and y in it, that's fine, they can stay that way, but this a, I need to find the value of it. So I'm going to take the other point that I have here, the coordinate, which is an x and y value itself. And I'm going to sub that x and y value in where the x and y are in the equation. So the y is -5. So my a, well my x is -2. And -2 will go into both x values. Then I can kind of work with the brackets here and figure out what my missing a value is. So -2 plus 6 is 4. -2 subtract 2 is -4. 4 times 4 is -16, so I have -16a on that side and -5. Divide both sides by -16. Two negatives make a positive, and then I have my a value. Now that I have my a value, I can actually write out the full equation. Y equals 5 over 16ths, x plus 6, x subtract 2. Okay? Now I have it in that form. I can either expand it or do whatever to change it to any other form depending on what the question's asking. Okay, but I have all the values I need. Let's do another question. Find the equation of the quadratic with the roots of 3 and -4 and a y-intercept of 2. Now roots is just another word for x-intercepts. So my x-intercepts are 3 and -4. Now again, because I'm given the x-intercepts, I'm best to use the factored form. What would these x-intercepts look like in factored form? It would have been y equals a, x, and then the opposites, x minus 3 and x plus 4. Again, I have to solve for the a value. So I need another piece of information to go in for my x and y's. Now I have the y-intercept of 2. Y-intercept of 2 is really the coordinate 0, 2. 0 for x, y of 2. So I can put those in for my x and y values. 2 equals a, 0 minus 3, 0 plus 4. Work with my brackets. 2 equals a, -3, 4. Multiply together is -12, so I have -12a. Divide both sides by -12, which would give me, reduce that fraction down, so it would be -1/6 equals my a value. Again, now that I have my a value, I can write out the full equation. Y equals -1/6, x minus 3, bracket x plus 4. Short little lesson on how to come up with the equation of a quadratic given this graph. Thank you very much.